What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 174 of the White Cat Outdoors podcast. This week, we have our good friend Austin Enterline on the podcast. You've heard him back a few times last fall with his big black bear kill and archery season and doe kill and rifle. He's been a regular at camp with us, and we've had a ton of fun with him. He's a very knowledgeable hunter, gets it done wherever he ends up, this time down in Kentucky on public land. And I'm just excited to share this story with you guys and really kick off turkey season for us the right way. So without further ado, let's get tuned into this week's episode.
So I did the cardinal sin. I pull up my bow, and then I look dead at his antlers. I got out of the truck, and when I slammed the door, I heard gobbles all around me.
Let's see it.
Alaska, moose, spot and stalk. That is the bucket list. I agree.
White Cat Outdoors. White Cat Outdoors.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. And turkey season's well on the way in some states, so we're going to talk about it tonight with Tom. He's hanging out.
Glad to be here.
And Nick's here as well.
Always, thank you for having me.
He doesn't know anything about turkey hunting, but we let him come on.
Something like that.
Yeah, and since, like I said, turkey season's well underway in some other states, not Pennsylvania, unfortunately, yet, but Kentucky is a state that is in, and our phenomenal friend, Austin Enterline, went to Kentucky, and he's on the podcast today to talk about what happened in Kentucky.
Good evening. Good to be back.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard from you since your big bear kill, or maybe your a doe kill in rifle season. But you've been on a few times, so the people, if they've been listening for a while, they know you.
Yeah.
But he's labeled himself as a public land hunter now. So
Yeah.
moving up.
First weekend of the turkey tour, so.
There we go. So let's back up a little bit here, Austin. Obviously, our turkey season up here hasn't even opened yet. So where did the idea to drive all the way to Kentucky for a weekend, where did that idea come to life?
So it's kind of started out, I got a guy at work that kind of always asks me what to do, or what's going on during the weekend. And I'm like, you know what? It was Easter weekend. That's kind of when I pulled the trigger. It was kind of, let's go down to Kentucky and see if there's some birds down there. Maybe get one or two. And that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, you didn't do like a whole lot of planning before this.
No,
it was a week before, if that. You were like, you know what, I'm going to go to Kentucky.
Yeah, it was so last minute. I really didn't have a plan going down there. I kind of picked some spots throughout the week, places to check, see if the birds were there. And
were you scouting on Onyx? I'm
yeah,
assuming?
yeah, that's where I had all my pinpoints located. And
What were you looking for?
so in Kentucky, there's a lot of hills, obviously, and in the bottom of each of those hills, there's a grassy fields. There's rolling fields all over the place. I'm looking for public land, of course, and I'm looking for wooded areas next to a field because I figured they'd be coming out there to strut during the mornings and evenings, and that's kind of where I was looking.
So are you allowed to hunt all day in Kentucky?
Yeah, all day and Sunday too. Unlike PA, you can't hunt Sundays, so that was pretty cool.
That really opens up your hunting. I mean, here, you can only go till noon, and for one day, so like a weekend hunt, you literally get half a day. So
Yeah.
driving all the way to Kentucky, you essentially get 4 times the hunting in a weekend.
Yeah, that definitely made it worth it going down. Like if you're coming from Kentucky to PA, it wouldn't really be worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
last minute, you decide you're heading all the way to Kentucky. I'm assuming to use Onyx was probably your
yeah,
key to locating some spots.
yeah.
How did you what?
Did you not hear me?
Were you
just-
not
Yeah, well,
paying
you talk.
any
I'm
attention?
kind of like reiterating. No, I got you.
Idiot.
So what did you? Were you sleeping out of your truck? Did you get a hotel, or what was your
So
means of staying while you're down there?
yeah, I mean, I did bring my sleeping bag in case it really shit hit the fan and I had to sleep in the truck. But after looking at like the 4 spots I had, just going around these national forest and wildlife management areas and figuring out what was the best case scenario for me to hunt in the morning, and I've found a hotel probably actually an hour away from where I started that Saturday morning. So
you had like several spots picked out. You're like, maybe here,
yeah,
kind of close, I'm guessing.
right.
And what made you pick the spot that you did?
Actually, that Saturday morning, the opening day, I had no idea where I was going because
So you got there Friday night?
yeah.
So
Oh,
you
actually,
didn't
I
even
got
have
there.
time to scout.
Yeah, so I left work Friday morning and I drove all the way down there. It took about 6 hours, and so it was about middle of the day Friday, and that's when I started doing all my scouting. And yeah, towards the evening, checking all these public lands, there was, well, the first couple spots didn't show much sign I was really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last spot, I mean, I heard a bunch of gobblers, and I saw more people than I think turkeys would have been there. So yeah, I didn't have any interest in hunting that area. So I decided to start brand new that Saturday morning after.
So you kind of went in blind the first day. You were clueless.
Yeah.
So you went basically. So you go scout this area. It's promising, got a lot of birds, but just too many people.
Yeah.
So are you back to square one on Onyx then at the hotel, just trying to figure out, okay, where do I go from here?
Yeah, actually, I gave my dad a call. I wanted to see what his ideas were, and he's actually the one that gave me the pinpoint of the place I shot that gobbler on.
Has he hunted there before? I'm
No,
guessing? Or
no,
he
that
was
was
just
totally
looking at maps.
Yeah,
Oh,
shot in
I'm
the
sure you
dark.
heard that about.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I mean, on my way out that Friday night, I wanted to hear the birds going up to roost, and there was definitely a lot of birds there. But on my way back to the truck, there was guys literally camping in the parking lot. It literally turned into a campground. There was like over a dozen people with trailers and trucks, and I'm like, this cannot be safe in the morning. So
how far were you staying from your spot that you're heading? So I guess let's back up a little bit. At what point did you decide where you're going to hunt Saturday morning, and how far of a drive did you have?
I was probably
Midnight.
it was pretty close. I mean, I got back to the hotel probably about 9 o'clock, and
Was this a pretty nice hotel?
it was,
Like the
it was
$49.95 special
no.
motel.
I mean, it was the medium average. It was nothing special, but not dirt floors either. So
When me and Nick go on turkey hunts, we like to try and find a room for under $50 a night.
yeah,
Gets pretty sketchy sometimes.
yeah, but yeah, this one wasn't too bad. So yeah, it was probably about 10 o'clock that night. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna go here and try it.
So how far of a drive do you have from your hotel to this spot?
It was pretty much an hour, 55 minutes.
So you got to
Like
sleep in a
almost,
little
you're
bit.
saying almost 2 hours, or you're saying like an hour?
Oh, it was just an hour, yeah.
Okay.
Not an hour and 55, just an hour.
So yeah, you had to be up probably 3 o'clock or so.
Yeah, I got up pretty early and started
Had a cup
heading
of
out.
coffee.
Oh, yeah. There was a Black Rifle coffee in the cup holder for sure.
There you go. So you're on your way out to this property. You know, last night, tons of people, public land guys, just camping out. What are your first impressions when you roll up to this new spot? Because you didn't get to scout it that night. You know, this is totally blind. What'd you walk into Saturday morning?
So I'm driving down there. It's kind of misting and raining a little bit. So I'm like, oh, boy. And then check the weather. It's supposed to be good during the day. Pretty cool day. And get out of the truck. It's real foggy, real damp. I'm in the bottom of that little valley here, and there's a little creek I got to cross to get up to the hill. And then get out of the truck, get ready, cross the creek, and sure enough, it starts getting daylight, and I hear a gobbler right on the side hill where I was at. And
Were there a bunch of other people there? Or?
no, there wasn't anyone there. I mean, it was a pretty big game wild game area, and I was in the center of it, so it was pretty far back. So
How long of a walk was it back there from where you parked your truck to where you set up?
it was probably about a mile and a half.
That's a good hike.
Yeah, especially those hills. It was those beat you up pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could walk 800 yards across the ground, but only cover 200 yards the way the crow
Yeah.
flies.
Mm-hmm.
Just up one ravine, down the next, up one, down the next.
So about how early into the morning you hear this gobbler? Like, is it just one lone gobbler, or are you starting to hear a bunch?
I swear I heard two, but I mean those hills, the way things
They-
echo,
They
Yeah, it's
play tricks
tough.
on you.
it's totally a different setting there, and it's definitely a learning curve. And if you think like here in PA, it's kind of flat where we're at, and if you hear a gobbler and it sounds way out there, it's usually, I mean, if you could just hear it, it's a good distance.
Yeah, maybe 500 yards or so.
Yeah, and where I heard this gobbler, I mean, they could just cross the hilltop, and then it'll sound like they're right there in front of you. So,
Yeah, it'll go from sounding like 500 yards to 100 yards
yeah,
in no time.
real quick, yeah.
If they're just down on the bottom of the ravine, you can barely hear them. Like, wow, they're way out there. Then they just come up a little bit. It's like, wow, they're right on top of me.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, it was totally a learning curve.
So you get to your area. About how close did you get to where you figured that bird might be? Like what
Did you have to
close it?
reset up, or
Well-
when you sat down your first time, were you locked in and he was not far away?
So after I kind of crossed that creek and got on top of that hill, I could kind of tell where he was at. He was on my side of that, well, on a different hill, but on this side of the hill where I could kind of hear where he's at. So I totally just got everything set up. This is like just getting daylight where I could see what I'm doing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
You put decoys out.
yeah, I got a gobbler and a hen.
Full strut or
Full strut gobbler.
full strut gobbler
Yeah.
and a hen. Very nice. So about how far out do you set your decoys out when you're setting up for these?
In this area, there wasn't any big trees. It was real brushy, so I got pretty close. It was probably within 15 yards, 20
Oh,
yards. Yeah, it was real. I mean, that's all I had. It was real brushy in the spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I started doing some yelping right when it got daylight, and they were just gobbling. I thought there was two. I'm not totally sure if there was two, but yeah, after about 45 minutes of him just gobbling, he stood right where he was at. It didn't seem like he was really interested.
Did he at this
Was
point?
he
did
on the
fly down?
ground
Yeah.
still?
I mean, I couldn't tell. I mean, I assumed he flew down within 15 minutes after daylight or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
But you're trying to call him, down a hill and then back up, which can
well,
sometimes
it's
be
kind of like
difficult.
I'm on a little plateau where it kind of S's down a little bit.
But still, I mean, you said he's on the other side, so he's got to come all the way down and
Yeah.
then back up to you, which
Well, he's kind of, we're
Above
kind of
you?
eye level, kind of, but he's up a little bit, so I'm kind of calling him downhill.
okay.
So you're not
okay.
calling him across a ravine. You
No.
kind of set up so that he didn't have to cross anything to get
There,
to
yeah, I mean, there's little dips everywhere, but I mean, it's not a far walk for where he had to run from. And
Were you competing with any hens trying to call them in?
no, there wasn't. I didn't hear any hens pucking or anything. So
That's big. I mean, a hen can ruin a perfect setup
Oh,
very
yeah.
quickly. So give us the rundown. You assume he hits the ground. You're doing a little bit of calling. What's happening now?
So yeah, it was probably about. I guess daylight was probably about 7 o'clock. So it's about 8 o'clock now, and
He's still gobbling?
he's still gobbling pretty good. And then he kind of stops, and all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, here's some like plucking. Like I thought it was a hen coming at me, but it was the longbeard come flying down at me, and then he flies up in a tree about 100 yards away. I'm
Could you
like,
see him at that point?
yeah, I just saw him as soon as right before he flew, and he jumps up in a tree, and I'm like, I've never seen
That's
this.
weird.
Yeah,
8 o'clock, he just decides to fly back up.
yeah, it was so odd. And then I don't know if he could see my decoys or not. It was kind of brushy, like I said, and I tried to yelp him down. I mean, he was up there for a good half hour,
So are you using a mouth call or slate call? I noticed you did a
did-
hand motion
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah. I did use a mouth call a little bit, but box call I think I was more dominant with that. But, yeah, he was still answering everything I did while he was up in that tree. But after a
I've
half
never
hour.
heard of a bird doing
I was
that.
just gonna say that's odd. And obviously nothing spooked him, because if he was spooked, he probably would have shut off. So
Yeah.
I wonder what
I wonder
pushed
if
him up
that's
to the tree.
like a terrain thing, because turkeys are very big on
That
sight.
makes sense.
And if it's rolling hills and they can't see, what they're
And it's
walking
brushy.
into,
Get
they-
the vantage point.
yeah, they fly up in a tree and they can see everything. So that might be
Yeah.
a common thing for birds in that terrain, just so they can see what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's weird for us because we're flatland, and if you get into some hills, it might be a lot more common, like you said,
Yeah.
Tom.
So he's up in the tree for a half hour. It's got to be killing you because you can see him at that
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Can you tell he's a longbeard?
I could, definitely see he's not a Jake, so he was going down.
Would you have shot him if he was a Jake?
I wouldn't have shot
No
a Jake.
comment.
No comment.
Don't have to worry about that.
Oh.
So
Austin's a longbeard killer.
Well, I don't like to shoot Jakes, but I mean,
everybody's got their own opinion.
yeah.
Some are wrong.
So half hour goes by. You're calling to him. Like, what's going through your head watching this bird just sit in a tree at 8 o'clock? Like, I'm sure you've never experienced that before.
Yeah.
So like, what's going through your head at this point?
I mean, I was shaking as like your emotions are coming out. You're like,
Yeah.
holy cow, I got a bird in front of me. And I mean, after 8 o'clock, after he was up there gobbling, he decided to fly back kind of where he was roosting at. And I saw the tree. He landed in another tree. So he's just jumping from tree to tree. He didn't like what was going on. He didn't see any decoy. He didn't see my decoys moving around. So I'm like, oh boy. And then, I mean, he's still answering my calls. He's still gobbling. But after that, he kind of shut up, and I was still calling a little bit. I mean, I'm calling like every 15 minutes. Like, I'm not trying to be too much.
Yeah, just letting them know you're there.
Yeah. And then I kind of hear him go back over top of the hill he was at. I'm like, oh boy.
That's it, huh?
Yeah. So I kind of gave one more call, waited about half hour. And then I called again, and I could tell he was, on the other side of that hill. So I packed everything up, started booking it over there. And
So you decided. So it's got to be what, almost 10 o'clock by now.
it was
And-
probably about 9 o'clock.
Okay. And at this point, you're gonna just go after him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I figured I gotta move. I definitely had to move. It was right at daylight, and it wasn't really the best spot I could have picked. But I mean, if it was pitch black.
Yeah, and you've never been in there before, so
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna go up on the side hill and get everything set up, and that's what I did. And I didn't make any calling since I moved from that spot. I just got everything set up, and then I made one more call, and I didn't hear anything. I'm like, well, let's give it half hour and see if he comes in. And sure enough, it was probably about 20 minutes later. Not 20, like 15 minutes, and I just
has he
saw
called
that-
or anything?
No, he didn't
Okay, so
make
you're-
a
Came in
sound.
silent.
Yeah, I just saw that red, white, and blue head coming over top of the hill, and he came right up to the decoys, and I had a tactic cam on my shotgun too, but somehow I left it on. I don't know if it got turned on in the truck, but I just threw it up, and he saw my decoys. He moved back a little bit and started putting, and then I just boom.
That's awesome.
That's
So-
all she wrote.
Yeah.
What'd you
That was-
shoot him with? What kind of gun were you using?
1187 Remington.
Oh man.
And I love how you gave us the classic picture with the bird over the shoulder. You could just kind of see the
Yeah.
feathers in the picture. It was just a
Yeah.
selfie, and you could almost tell there was a turkey in there.
I figured I'd get you guys a little bit of a tease there.
I have to.
So the old 1187 barks, and can you see him flopping around, or did it
Oh yeah.
go down over the edge of a hill, or?
We're kind of, I mean, not very steep, kind of a little of a roll over the hill. And he just floppled over there, and that was it.
So, how far was your shot? I know you said he was in your decoys, but he started to back away.
That was probably about 20 yards, 25.
Okay, so he's right in the
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
yeah.
And what he you measure spurs and beard length on them?
Yeah, so 9-inch beard and 1-inch spurs.
Nice.
Not a
Very
huge
nice.
bird, but I mean definitely.
That's your first Kentucky
yeah.
public land bird, and
Going in blind can't beat
getting
that.
a long beard like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know many guys that really start painting it like, oh, his spurs weren't quite what I was looking for. I know, like,
Yeah.
I feel like you get a full fan, a old bird that's not, a Jake. They're pretty
Yeah.
much long beard's a long beard.
Yeah.
Just at least for me, it's just by chance how long it is. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't killed a bird in 3 or 4 years, so it's nice to get back in the game a little bit.
Well, you
Yeah.
did tell me before the season started, before you went to Kentucky, you said you are for sure laying down 3 birds this year. So you got 1 out of 3 now.
Yeah. And we're going back down this weekend, so
You're going back to Kentucky this weekend.
yeah. My dad wants to go. I'm
Oh,
like,
man. Did you tell him all the birds are dead there?
yeah, there's
None
none left.
Like that spot you told me about? Yeah, I killed the only bird there, so.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we're leaving in the morning tomorrow, and we'll make it a 3-day trip. We're going to hunt Ohio first day, too, so.
Typical.
If you guys need, I don't know if you guys already got your areas picked out, but we did get into some birds when we went to Ohio. We can talk afterwards if you're interested.
Yeah.
But so how far of a walk did you have back with your bird?
Yeah, so it was probably about 2 miles. I was like a mile in there and probably another mile or half mile to get to that bird. And it wasn't a crazy walk. I mean, it was pretty much all downhill, so there was nothing
nice.
to complain about.
Did you stuff them in your back or did you sling them over your shoulder the whole way out?
I threw him over my back.
I have a vest that has the pouch. A bird has never ended up in there. That I always, for some reason, I just like the walk out with it over my
I
shoulder.
like the walk out, except for when me and you killed that double and you couldn't carry anything. And I
Yeah.
had both of our shotguns and 2 turkeys. It was nice to throw one in the pouch and one over the shoulder.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild. But so I guess you're heading back down tomorrow. By the time this releases, you're going to be hopefully stacking more birds. But are you heading back same general area, or are you going to hit something else?
Well, the way Kentucky has it set up, I can't kill another bird on that wildlife management area. So I think we'll try and get my dad one and then go to a different spot. And I mean, we got 5 tags to fill, so we got a lot of moving around to do.
Oh, so you get 3 tags? Oh, you got your Ohio tags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I threw that in there. And yeah, you could only
Jeez,
kill...
you could kill 4 birds then. You can get one in Ohio, another one in PA, one in New York.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely don't need that much meat, but we'll see what happens.
Are you taking your bow or your shotgun this time?
I mean, I kept saying my bow, but there really is nothing better than blasting them with a shotgun.
I just, like I said, I
Until
agree with
shoot
you.
one with a bow.
I agree with you. I want to shoot one with a bow just to say I did it, but there is nothing better than smacking turkeys in the face with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think shooting one with a bow is going to change that. I just want to be able to say I did it.
Yeah.
Mainly because as soon as I brought it up, I had several people that were like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh, you're not using a blind either. Yeah, forget it. You're not going to be able to do that." So
Right.
I'm like, I'm just going to do it or try to do it, see if I can prove them wrong, and then I'll go back to my shotgun.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do it, why don't you just do it?
I am going to.
Just do it. It's simple.
Yeah. Well,
Simple math.
Austin, I appreciate you coming on and giving us the rundown and really sparking things off for us early this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, had to do a little turkey
I-
camp series.
Well, actually, Austin, I think, was the first kill for hunting season back with bear
He was.
because it was right out the gate. He got his bear, and then you're kicking off the turkey series.
He's just a stone cold killer.
I know.
I
He's
could
just,
do it without you guys. You guys inspired me to get out there. So.
I appreciate it. Thanks again, Austin. And hopefully next week we'll be talking about a whole nother stack of birds.
Hopefully.
You got anything? You look like you were about to say something.
No.
I thought you were raising your hand like you had a question or something.
All right. Well, I guess on that note, turkey season's right around the corner, so get outside.